This is my complete micro-channel content system that allowed me to make $1 million before I even turned 18 years old. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I use the software so you can just copy me. And the best part is that 9 of the 10 softwares I'm going to show you in this video are completely free. The first piece of software that I use is Notion. This is pretty much my second brain. I house all the clients that I work with in there. I house all of the ideas that I come up with, and I also house all of the production for the YouTube videos that I create. Up on screen now is the production board I use, and you can see within each section, I write out the script for the video, I write out the inspiration for the videos that I'm actually looking for, I write out the structure of how I'm actually going to record the information, and then I also walk through all the variations for the titles that I test and also the thumbnails that I create. It's pretty much my one-stop shop, and after I'm done posting a video, I go back into Notion to review and see what I could do better for next time. It also allows me to manage all the posting dates for the content, both for myself and for the team that I work with. All the boards that I use were actually stolen from a 9-figure content system that I managed to get access to, and when I first saw it, I was in shock because I thought that Notion was just this gimmicky software that people who like to mess around with productivity used. However, I realized that the power that it has to build unique things and almost be a more creative software rather than the more rigid ones that specifically talk about content allow you to get all the customizations you need no matter what you talk about. The next software that I use is ChatGPT. If Notion is my second brain, then ChatGPT is my first brain because I pretty much use it for the entire video creation process. Gone are the days you have to build this massive content team full of people because you can do all the functions that they used to do just using yourself, AI, and maybe a few really good team members. When I'm making a video, here's exactly what I use ChatGPT for. First and foremost, in order to actually generate ideas, what I'll do is I will just go on my YouTube and I'll split screen my monitor and take screenshots of all the inspiration that I have and input them into ChatGPT, asking for it to come up with 50 ideas just based on the keywords that I've given it. Now, most people don't actually understand how AI works. They think you need some crazy magic prompt in order to actually come up with good stuff. However, if you understand what a large language model actually is, you can train the AI bot, you can train ChatGPT in order to just learn your channel, learn exactly about who you are. So you can just ask it, hey, come up with video ideas, and it already knows all the previous videos you've posted just because you fed it the right data. So after I ask for ideas, then the next thing that I do is send it more inspiration. I ask it to draft out titles, and what I do is I input all those titles into the Notion database that I actually have, and then from that point on, I have all the variations that I actually need to review in order to actually make the video great. Finally, the last thing that I use AI for is the copywriting and the script of my YouTube videos, and I keep this extremely simple. If you watch my previous video on the 5P format, I pretty much have that templated out into a Google Doc, and I send ChatGPT the title, which it already actually knows because it's in the same chat, and then from that point on say, hey, can you install the 5P format for this video? And then from that point on, I just have my laptop here and I just talk. Now moving on to 2 little pieces of software that are just simple websites but are absolute game changers moving into the next step. The first one of these is called Thumbnail Downloader, and pretty much what it allows you to do is paste in the link of any YouTube video on the platform and it will send you the thumbnail that they use in full resolution quality. If you like certain elements in a thumbnail, you can use this to actually extract them, or you can just use it in order to paste over into GPT. The second tool is Tactics AI Transcript Tool, which I use and actually feed to GPT when I find a competitor video that I think has a really good script, and from that point on, when it actually knows my content, what I'm talking about, I can input the script and I say, hey, can you write this script except with my story and everything that I talk about, and from that point on, it will take care of the entire thing. All I have to do is review it at the end, make a few changes just so it sounds a little bit more human and has my personality in it. Then move on to creating thumbnails, which I think is the most overcomplicated part in the entire YouTube space. Coming from an entrepreneur background instead of a content creator background, I was not well versed in how to use Photoshop and all of these crazy design softwares, so all the thumbnails that you see on this channel to this very day are all made using Canva. Now, if you're making entertainment content, this probably isn't going to work, but for most educational videos where you're sitting at your desk and you're talking and explaining through something, there is absolutely no reason you need to go through and hire some crazy effects artists in order to make thumbnails, and just using very simple Canva design features, you can create some extremely high quality educational thumbnails that are indistinguishable between people who've been doing this for tens of years. Most creators just shoot their video and make the thumbnail afterwards, not knowing what they actually want to do. However, the secret in order to actually having good packaging and making sure your video gets clicks is by actually going ahead and creating all the title variations and all the thumbnail variations they're going to use before you even script the video. That being said, we're going to be following the trend extremely simple by going into the next software I use, which is CapCut. All the videos you see are edited once again on the completely free plan of CapCut, not using any of the pro features, because in order to make educational content, which you're going to be using on your YouTube micro channel, it only needs to be extremely simple stuff. In addition to that, if you also do more raw content where you might hold a vlog camera or your phone and walk through and talk through stuff, the best thing that CapCut actually has is the ability to add captions on it, which allow your video to still have life to it and give something for the viewers to follow. In my opinion, if you go too crazy on the editing with all these crazy softwares, it actually makes the video less enjoyable to watch. And even if it does increase the views and the retention, it's not going to be because of you, which is a very important thing to understand, that when we use a YouTube micro channel, we want people to buy into us as people and build our own personal brand and not just have people have their dopamine fried because we're throwing effects everywhere. Now we have the next software, which is just the simple YouTube Studio. If you're not coming from a background of having done YouTube before when you first start your micro channel, you have to get familiar with using YouTube Studio instead of the app. I recommend you absolutely geek out and obsess over this when you first start, because you can see so much data. You can see the age of the people watching your content, you can see what countries they're from, you can see what devices they're watching on, you can even see what other videos they're watching before they watch your video, which allows you to get a really good idea of who you're actually speaking to in your content. Now you have to be careful that you don't go overboard with this, because there's this camp over here that goes way too crazy on YouTube analytics, and a few things might happen. Firstly, they're going to begin making content that they don't even like, and their brand's not going to be personal to them just because they're trying to constantly appease the data that they actually see and optimize the numbers and not actually their personal brand, which leads to them losing in the long run anyways. And second is that the analytics do not sell your product. We're not getting paid off YouTube AdSense primarily. We're getting paid through payment processors like Stripe and by interacting with people. So because of that, we want to prioritize numbers in the business, like how many sales calls are we taking or how much money are we actually making, instead of what the click-through rate is on every single video. Now, if you can keep that within measure, we get on to what I think is the best YouTube software ever that I'm not even affiliated with in any way, shape, or form, which is vidIQ. When you're first getting your channel off the ground, SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, is one of the most important things your channel has, because YouTube doesn't have data to go off of. For all they know, you're another one of those channels posting all that AI garbage you see. So what you need to do is use SEO, which is the tags that you're going to be using on the videos, the hashtags that you actually have, the way you write your descriptions, and the quality of the keywords you use overall in your titles, in order to actually show YouTube that yes, you are a real person and yes, you are actually making good videos. The other very important feature that vidIQ has is going to be the outlier score. Now, what is an outlier? Pretty much what it is it's going to be a multiplier based on the channel's average views. So if you see a video that has an 11x multiplier, it means that video did 11 times better than the channel's average viewers, which means that this video obviously is doing something right. And in vidIQ, you can either see it on the website, or my personal favorite is just on your own YouTube homepage. If you get the Google Chrome extension, you can see it on every single video. This is one of the most effective strategies to start out, because you can find some really good video ideas just by going through your own YouTube and looking at small creators with a similar audience, just maybe in a different niche. And what this does, it allows you to copy a video that's already completely proven, works with human psychology, and will then be an absolutely new thing to the demographic that you're introducing the video for. With that being said, sometimes you just get a little bit lazy and you don't want to add new tags in every single video, and that's where the final tool, which is called rapid tags, comes in. All you do is input the title of your YouTube video, click generate tags, and from that point on, you can copy some of the highest effectiveness tags into the video description in order to get performance on the video. Now, those are all the softwares that I use in order to make my YouTube video, and I'll probably make an updated version of this in the future. However, I hope that the value you got from this video is worth the time that you spent, and I will see you in the next one.